I finished it. Why am I living my life based on the opinions of other people? I really thought I was being realistic. That was one of my big priorities for 2022, allegedly, was to set realistic goals for myself. You wouldn't be able to tell by this goal right here, but that is what I was trying to do. This is where it starts to go downhill. Hey friends, I'm Ren, and today I'm going to be going over my 2022 goals as an aspiring self-published author. I have a lot that I want to talk about. 2022 was a big year for me. It was the first year that I really threw myself into indie authorhood. It was the first year where I really committed every day to this goal. And in January, I set up the top 10 goals that I thought would bring me closer to my ultimate goal of having a career as an indie author. And not every single one of the 10 goals I'm going to go over are directly writing related, but they all have to do with my life. And, in that way, they all kind of impact writing in some way or another. So yeah, let's talk about it. This is my very first video, if you have or have not noticed. I have my little book station right here. This is only some of my books. My books are kind of all over the place right now, but I really like this little setup that I have put together. I have this squishmallow that looks like my cat, like my favorite Christmas present I got this year. Thanks, Caden. To be here. Having a YouTube channel was one of those goals for 2022, and I'm really excited to finally be here and making content. If you have any feedback, any requests, or if you just want to chat and connect, I would love to hear from you down in the comments. You can also find all my links in the description. I'm really active over on my Instagram at WRITEWITHREN and on TikTok, which is WRITEWITHREN as well. I put as my number one goal this year, graduate university, not go to school for writing. But I graduated in June with a Bachelor of Humanities with a minor in English. And even though I didn't go down that path initially with the goal of being an author, it has definitely helped influence the way that I read, the way that I think critically about texts, the way that I write, and the way that I thread universal human themes into my works. And yeah, I love my degree. It did so much for me, and I carry a lot of the books with me still. My second goal on the list, but honestly the number one goal in my heart, was to basically start and finish my work in progress, which at the time I was calling Project Space. Now, Project Space before this year had been through 2 iterations already. I wrote like tens of thousands of words and then scrapped them, and then wrote almost 100,000 words and then scrapped them again. And then I restarted a third draft with the same characters, same world, same kind of like ideas that I was trying to get, but just, starting over from a new starting point with new ideas, a more refined vision of what I wanted to do. And I was so terrified of, writing this third draft and then scrapping it and restarting again. And it's really disheartening when you've already done that twice and now you're jumping in for a third time and you're like, oh God, every grueling 1,000-word writing session, you're left thinking like, okay, I hope these ones stick. I hope I look at these again instead of just tossing them to the wind. I did it. It took me 9 months. I started in like December, January, and I finished in August. I actually finished Project Space in Iceland. My goal, I tried really hard to finish before I left for Iceland, and then I wasn't quite finished. I was writing like a mad woman in August, and I was just writing and writing. I was writing in Iceland. I was writing on the plane, and I ended up finishing the draft on our very last night in Iceland, like a matter of hours before we had to get up to go to the airport to come home. So I finished it, and I'm so proud of myself. And this is the draft that is sticking. I'm in edits now, and while editing is a long and grueling process, at least I know I'm sticking with the bones that I'm sticking with the foundation that I've established. I don't have to rewrite all of these words. Some of them, but not all of them. Finishing writing projects has always been a struggle for me ever since I was really young. So to set this deadline for myself and achieve it means a lot to me. Goal number 3, this is where it starts to go downhill. I wanted to draft Project Space 2 in 2022 on top of already doing Project Space 1. So my rationale for this, my logic was that I was going to draft Project Space 2 during NaNoWriMo, which I tried to do, but it really didn't work out. I think I got like less than 10,000 words for NaNoWriMo this year. Because I had just written a book, and on one hand, I do think it's important to not wait a million years to write a sequel so that you can stay in the world, you can stay in the vibe, you can, stay with your characters, it can be more cohesive, a better flow from book to book. But also, how can I draft a sequel when I'm still figuring out the basics in the debut, and I'm still, world building and establishing historical context and, figuring out details and magic systems. And it felt like I was going to end up in a situation where I just write thousands and thousands of words and then have to scrap them again. And I frankly don't have the time or the energy to be doing that as much as I can avoid it. So yeah, Project Space 2 did not get drafted at all. I outlined it, and I'm proud of myself for having a really good outline. I know what direction I want the sequel and subsequent books to go towards. Number 4 was to read 30 books. This was my reading challenge for the year. And I thought it was very reasonable, and I did not. I did not reach it. But I read more books in a year than I have read in probably since I was like a youth. So finally downloaded the app Libby, which is a free app that you can connect with your local library and access their inventory of ebooks and audiobooks. And having audiobooks has been life-changing for me. All right, my 5th goal. Okay, this is where we start getting into the numbers that were just very arbitrary, and I honestly did not know what I was talking about, but I felt like I had to set some kind of goal. So I did. So my writing goal number 5 was to have 2,000 Instagram followers. It took me a long time to decide on this number. I really thought I was being realistic. That was one of my big priorities for 2022, allegedly, was to set realistic goals for myself. You wouldn't be able to tell by this goal right here, but that is what I was trying to do. I knew I was, being very arbitrary when I picked these numbers, and I knew that these number goals didn't really mean anything. And I had no idea what a good metric was. I didn't know what realistic expectations were. I just had no idea. So I picked 2,000. And maybe for some creators, that is a realistic metric. Not for me. I posted consistently throughout the entire year. I have come up with a few little series that help me stay consistent both on my posts and my Instagram stories. I do my Days of Editing series where I just talk about and share my process for editing. I show little pictures of my scribbles and my notes to myself, and the music I'm listening to and the resources I'm watching. And then I also have my daily polls. So I do polls on my Instagram stories almost every day about character tropes or books that are releasing, or books that are out, or movies, or just kind of anything to do with story. And it'll be like, pick your favorite friends to lovers, or pick your favorite plot twist, or pick your favorite betrayal, or pick your favorite January 2023 book release, or whatever. And I'm really proud of myself for this kind of community that I've built. And that is the most important part of Instagram for me, is the community. And I remember this time last year posting things and feeling like they were just going out into the void and no one was looking at them, and what does it even matter, making this cute little Canva graphic if no one's gonna look at it. But now I have friends and I'm making connections with people, and people are caring about the content that I'm making, and they're engaging with it, and it's making them think, and we're starting conversations about, writing and being an indie author and dealing with the challenges that come with this career path. And that is everything I wanted. So even though I didn't hit 2,000 Instagram followers, I'm nowhere close. I'm at 300. I'm so proud of my 300, and 300 is a big number. That's more people than lived in my hometown. So the purpose of that goal, like 2000, it's not the number 2000 that's important. It's the, consistently posting, staying accountable to my Instagram, making good content, and connecting with people. And I've done all of those things, and I'm continuing to. So I'm really proud of the content I've been making over on Instagram, and a lot of it has really resonated with a lot of people, which is really cool to think about. This is my most popular Instagram post of the year. It's a reel that I made with my cat Pudding.
A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't care what y'all say. A win is a win.
Writing goal number 6 was 500 YouTube subscribers. Now, I thought this was such a realistic goal. You're probably looking over at my subscriber count right now. And as you can see, I'm very much not at 500. And that's because I didn't make any long form or short form YouTube content this year. I've put out on YouTube are these writing sprints that I used to do. It was called the Midnight Write Fight. I really loved to do those live streams. I got so many words down and I made really great connections with people. But those were heavy duty live streams. Those were like 4 hours at a time. And I don't know why I put myself through that like 5 times a month, 4-hour live streams. It was fun. It got a lot of work done. I also felt like it was really easy for people to be able to drop in at the time that was most convenient for them within that 4-hour writing, slot. But for me to be sitting down in front of my computer for 4 straight hours, that was a lot. So around like September, when I was thinking about, my goals and YouTube, and if I was ready to kick off a YouTube, I knew that I really only had enough time and energy and mental capacity to add on one social media channel at a time. I decided to concentrate my efforts on TikTok and to put YouTube on the back burner. Was that the right decision? Yes, very much so. For me anyways. My TikTok is so much fun. I have a really good time on there. I just love making jokes and finding fun sounds to use and connecting with other writers and readers, and it's been really fun. And now my biggest audience is actually on TikTok. I have about 940 followers on there right now. I've had YouTube channels and little social media channels in the past, and I kid you not, every time something I made started picking up wind, I would delete it right away. I just could not fathom the idea of people from real life finding my content. And then, 2022 came around and I realized, A, this is very necessary for this indie author career I'm trying to pursue, and B, why am I living my life based on the opinions of other people? So, when I got the urge to delete a video that was starting to pick up steam, I didn't, and now that video has 2.1 million views, so that's cool. My next goal, my goal number 7, was to get 50 newsletter subs. Now, I knew that my newsletter was important and I really did want to push it more in 2022, but I just came across some roadblocks that I wasn't expecting that kind of made me have to put that on the back burner. I don't love how my website looks right now. There's a lot of revamping and upgrading that I really want to do to it. It's just that's a really big job, and I have to make a lot of big decisions that I haven't completely decided on yet. So I've been putting it off, and then I don't want to direct people to a website I'm not proud of to sign up for my newsletter, but I am taking some steps towards, making those big decisions and having an email list that is ready to go. My email list is finally up and running. You can find it in the links down below if you want to join. I have 10 people signed up right now. Half of that is my own email addresses that I've been using and testing it out and stuff. And then the other 5 are like the best friends in the world. So it's not too late for you to be on my top 50, first 50, email list contacts. So if you want to be on my top 50, it's not too late to sign up. My 8th goal was affiliate marketing. That's all I said. It was very vague. And I didn't do this, not really. I have an idea of some brands. I've been looking into different brands and companies that do different sorts of ambassador programs or affiliate programs. Personally, I would really like to work with Grammarly. I think that would be so cool. But I haven't really done anything towards that yet. I've been too busy with other goals that are more important to me right now. Goal number 9 is healthy habits, which again sounds vague, but the things I was thinking of when I talked about healthy habits last year was sleep and working out consistently, and including getting back into running. And I've been doing really well with this, actually. My sleeping habits for the first time in my life are not horrendous. When I say bad sleep schedule, I meant like I was not sleeping, and I did this thing called deconstructed sleep, where I would sleep for 3-4 hours at a time in little blocks or less, and basically just take a bunch of naps. That is no way to live. My brain was just in a fog. It's no way to live, and it's really bad for your health. And if you are finding yourself in that situation, please don't. Please give yourself 7 to 8 to 9 uninterrupted hours of sleep. It's so important for your brain and your mood and your body and your health. And yeah, that's my little preachy moment. Do I still stay up until 3-4 o'clock in the morning? Yes, because that just seems to be the clock that my body runs on. But I'm getting really good at just honoring my body's clock and then not feeling guilty for waking up late if I was up late, right? Like it's fine. Working out consistently, I have done, and not only that, but I got a gym membership this year, and I've never done that before, and I'm really proud of myself for prioritizing my physical health and, you know, putting that at the forefront of my priorities, and investing in myself. And I absolutely love working out. You know, it's been so good for me in so many ways. And I think that as a writer, or as any job where you're like sitting in one place for a lot of time, finding ways to fall in love with moving your body can be so beneficial for all areas. 10 goal was to travel. Again, not like directly writing related, but you know, life experience helps you write better, right? I didn't know where I wanted to travel at the beginning of the year. I ended up going to Iceland with my best friend. It was our grad trip. We had the best time ever. If you'd be interested in like a travel vlog or even a writing vlog, because I did finish my book in Iceland, I would be so happy to put that content together, because it was just, I had the time of my life and we had a great time, and I'm so fortunate that I was able to make that part of my 2022. If this video was of any kind of value to you, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and tell the YouTube algorithm that this was a quality video that might be able to help out other writers. So thank you very much for watching my 2022 goals reviews video. It really means the whole world to me. My 2022 was amazing because of the connections I've gotten to forge, especially with other writers and readers. So just know that you watching this are genuinely the best part of all this. So thank you for watching. I'm going to go start working on the 2023 goals that I've already set up for myself. If you want to see what those goals are, then you can subscribe and turn notifications on. You can follow me on Instagram at WRITEWITHREN and on TikTok at WRITEWITHREN. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Hi friends, I'm Ren, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. If you know me, that's I really love watching these kinds of videos. I hope that you do too. Oh, I wish I had earrings on. On my list of goals or not, because look, oh my god, there's a fleck on my screen and I thought it was a bug on my tapestry. New project space, which I now call by its title, which I announced. Okay. Like, not necessarily. I don't think I'm explaining this very well. This can probably go in another video because this is probably so long already, so I'm just gonna wrap this up.